now recording.
In 5.
Hello. This is definitely not a different recording session.
Yeah, you can tell.
We're definitely not missing Aydin. Aydin's spirit is here.
He's here.
He died.
Yes.
His ghost is here. So he's dead. Rest in peace. Let's get an F in the chat, boys. Was that a topical reference? Was that a good joke?
That's not a good
great.
joke.
I mean,
it's just you're just stating a meme. That's not.
Is that that's a Twitch meme, right?
I thought it was pretty
Yes.
solid, to be fair.
I don't know anything about Twitch.
Yeah.
So yeah, Aiden's dead, and we're wearing different clothes to commemorate.
What do
his
you
death.
mean? You just said
Maybe
it was
we
a
could
different.
just,
It was the same day. What?
Yeah, no, but we changed his clothes, our
Yeah.
clothes,
Oh.
because he died.
Oh, then why did I change out of black then? No.
I don't know. You tell me.
No.
Some people wear white to funerals as like a celebration of life.
Dang, culture is crazy.
Cultures are
I don't know
crazy.
why I'm wearing orange, but like I think it's just because it's like, you know, my favorite color.
That's a
I
good
wanted
color.
to like have like a good energy. Anyways, so that the listeners aren't like, okay, are they ever gonna go back to talking about Voltron? I guess we should try and pick up from where
Where
we
we left off.
Where did we leave off?
Okay, we were talking about.
We did not get past episode 1.
Yes.
So, Jordan, you remember?
Yes, we were talking about. I was just getting to my last problem with episode 1. Okay, so, quote, it must be. Oh, well, quote, when Allura is explaining how she can understand the mice. It must be from sharing the sleep pod for 10,000 years. I'm calling bullshit. I don't get how that works. Is there another reason that I have to wait for later seasons
That
for
also felt kind of. Well, okay. I have only seen the first season, so I don't know. But it feels like that's the explanation, and they just kind of shoehorned it in.
That's yeah.
That's not a good one. I don't. You can have that
Yeah,
be your
that
explanation.
felt a little.
So long as you.
I mean, I
tell
didn't
me why
mind it
that
too much, but I
works.
did hear that line, and I'm like, okay, sure.
Sure, buddy.
I mean,
Okay, buddy.
I agree. It could easily be taken as a bad like excuse of a solution to that problem. But at the same time, I mean, I suppose somebody could argue that, like, you know, in the later episodes, there's the part where who is it? Is it? Oh, it's Sindak. He's captured, right? And Shiro is talking to Sindak, and like they're like communicating, and it has to do with like those pods, right? It has to do with the energy flowing between them and the pods. So the pods could have some kind of magical ability. That
It's not so much that
You
I don't buy that it's the pods. I just don't like know if I believe that she would like immediately be like, oh, that's why, because like,
well, yeah.
she's like, oh, I can understand them. Oh, this is why, like right away.
That's true. That's true.
You-
Also,
Wait a second.
go
You've
ahead.
seen the show, and you're saying maybe the pods have some magical element to it. So what you're saying is the show does a poor job of explaining a plot point.
no, I'm just saying that I don't remember things or like take things in the way that perhaps you would if you saw more. But anyways, I think that yesterday, because it was totally not yesterday. It was totally not yesterday that we were recording.
Like 2 minutes ago, yeah.
It was just like 2 minutes ago or whatever. Yeah. 2 minutes ago when we were talking about episode 1 and its iconic lines, nobody said the I am Lance and you're right here in my arms line.
I wish. Okay, I didn't write down any of his lines, but I really liked a lot of his lines.
It's just so good. It's the first thing he says to Allura, and I just yes, like it's so bad that it's so good, and I love that bit. Anyways, so shall we move on to episode 2?
Yeah, that's all I've got.
Okay.
No, I have a problem. Why do they eat goo? Okay.
Oh,
like-
I did have another problem. I did have
Oh,
another.
you did?
I did have another real
Just
problem.
relate to the goo.
No, it's not the goo, but so it's completely understood between the Alteans and the humans 10,000 years means the same thing. And then in the next episode, they establish that their construction of time is the same, but with different names. So
like ticks.
Yes, ticks are not quite seconds. So how can years be the same?
That's a good question. I mean, that's a good question. I don't have an answer for that. But I don't know.
Because if they were gonna go all out and then just be okay with the fact that all of them understand English and they're all communicating in English, then they could have just left it at the fact that they could have just conceded that their conception of time is the same, and I would have been okay with it. But then they established that they have different names, and that's 1 second is not equal to 1 tick, at least 1-to-1 ratio dealio,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's more like a little thing I took issue with, but otherwise it's not a huge
Yeah,
deal.
there's like small things that are like not inconsistent. I guess inconsistent.
They're kind of
Just like small, yeah. But like, I don't know. I guess I don't like pay a whole lot of attention to those usually.
World building.
World
building
I
is
mean,
huge
me
for
neither.
me.
I mean, for me, like those kinds of things don't change my perception of a show, but I can see how like if that's something that you typically pick up on or are typically invested in, like it would change your perception.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't necessarily have like a lot of notes or a lot of things to talk about for every episode because some of them are just kind of like simple, I guess. But I feel like with everybody I've ever spoken about Voltron with, a lot of the time they're like, oh, this episode's my favorite. And I'm like, really? Like, that's an episode that did not stand out to me at all. So I just, feel comfortable to talk about each episode to like the level that you feel comfortable talking about it. But anyways, Episode 2, any thoughts?
Joseph.
I like the title says some assembly required because like I feel like that's poking fun at the fact that the original Voltron was just made to sell toys. At least I think it was. I imagine it was. It was an 80s cartoon.
Merchandising.
Crap, what was... Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the episodes like blend together for me. I know this is the one where they're just trying to figure out how to form Voltron.
Yeah.
This wasn't it was the first episode which had the bit where like it showed all their faces and then Zero was like, I forgot what he said, but then everyone nodded in unison and then Hunk was like, is everyone nodding, right? And I thought that was a fun bit.
I think that's the first episode.
I
Actually, it might have been this episode. It may have been this episode because this is the first time that they this is the first time that I think they like work together to actively try and form Voltron.
Right.
Like
yes.
That so it could have been this episode. I'm not certain.
I don't remember. Is that all you got?
Did they like fight anything in this episode or like was
they
it
fought each other?
Well, I know that, but like was there like a monster or like was it like a relaxed one and it was just like
there was no big
it was
bad,
the one where Lance was like in his pajamas the whole time so in the beginning. So yeah, it was a relaxed one. I really like Jordan, any thoughts?
I mean, if you're bouncing off with Joseph, go ahead. Bouncing.
No, it didn't really respond specifically. I'll say it later.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I have only a couple things about this episode because it felt like comparably short, even though it's the same runtime as all the feature episodes. But like not much happened. It was like they were teaching the audience the reason why Voltron can form, how it happens. That's cool, whatever. But I will I will say like I enjoyed the humor in this episode. I liked that Lance got bonked to horny jail. That was nice. And my final note on this episode: how many episodes will it take for the Voltron formation animation to get old? That is the question.
Actually, I was watching this at the beginning of this season with my uncle, and by this episode, he was like, "It's the same as the first episode."
It's literally no different.
Okay,
they're recycling the same.
But there's a lot of
30 seconds.
shows that. there's Voltron is not the only like modern show that does that still.
That's true.
Like I know Miraculous Ladybug does that
Yeah,
with a few
Yeah.
different things, like their transformation segment, and then like when they use their power, it's the same animation.
Budgets,
like-
my guy.
Yeah. I feel like
I
it's
don't blame
dependent
Voltron
on
for
the
doing
show.
that. And
Yeah,
also,
and
I
they
feel
are-
like
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. I also feel like did they do that? I never watched the original Voltron, but like this sounds like a very 80s thing where like the transformation segment and it's
Hmm.
like recycled
I don't
animation.
remember.
Yeah, wasn't the
I've seen
Sailor
some of
Moon
the-
animation transformation
Sailor Moon
animation the
definitely
same?
did that.
Yeah, so it's like
Mhm.
I know He-Man did that.
He-Man. That's epic. I did not know
And I
that
assume
one.
She-Ra, the original She-Ra. I don't remember if the new She-Ra recycles it. It probably does.
I wouldn't doubt it.
But yeah, pretty cool. One thing that wait, Jordan, do you have any other thoughts?
No, that's all I've got.
Okay, one thing I really like about this episode is how, like, in the first episode, it always kind of felt like really trying to establish like world building, pushing like a lot of things to happen at once in a way. And you are meeting the characters, but you're not really meeting the characters in a very casual setting at all. So I liked that you got to see them in a new setting. And I also liked how Alora kind of was established as a character in this episode.
As an actual
especially, like,
character. Yes, go on.
but I mean, like, at the end, you see how like they're doing the whole like common enemy thing against Alora, and then like how she rejoices about that. Like, I don't know, I just think it's like a really cute conclusion to the episode. It's good. So I like
Okay.
episode 2. Okay, episode 3.
Yes, they're fighting a thing.
Yeah.
The thing shows up. At this point, I'm like, okay, it's like a kind of like monster of the week kind of show thing. I kind of wish that like, I mean, I think I mentioned this at some other point. Just like the whole like effect of like watching something all at once versus like watching it and like week by week. Like, I kind of wish I would have been able to like watch this show like one episode per week, just because I feel like each episode would like stick in my brain better.
Yeah.
And also I feel like it would function better like that than like
Yeah.
binging the whole thing.
I had a
I
similar
feel
note.
like- Yeah, no, I just to respond to that, I feel like the show recognized that, like the writers recognized that as they went on, because like the
Oh,
first
did this
season,
become more like
does-
serialized?
yeah, it like because like the first, I mean, there are always filler episodes and things like that. Although in my opinion, some of the filler episodes in Voltron later on are like the best episodes of Voltron. Like, it's that kind of show. But that being said, like, it has more of like the flow of a show, even dare I say like Avatar later on. In the beginning, it doesn't. In the beginning, it has like that kind of like, yeah, monster a week kind of vibe. And I feel like the writers kind of picked up on that and shifted gears.
Yes.
But yes.
What?
I mean, okay.
nothing-
Is this the first episode where it was like they were like trying to beat it and then like they like kind of got a Deus Ex Machina? Because like they're
I
like,
wrote
oh, we
this.
need a sword, and then Keith is like, whoa, I can make a sword.
Okay.
And then
Oh,
I don't have like
I
a
don't
huge
know.
problem with that because like at least here, because it doesn't feel like completely out of nowhere, but it does like it's not as egregious as like some other like pulling a superpower out of your butt kind of things
Hmm.
that I've seen before.
Like every Superman
but
comic? Original
Yeah,
Superman comic?
exactly.
By the way, he has this power
Yeah.
now. Go on.
Like I can believe that that's a thing that's there. Like it doesn't feel like totally out of left field, but it still has that issue a little bit, I think.
you mean like the Bayard?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's like when they establish it, I think.
Yeah. I mean, personally, that never bothered me, simply because, like, and trust me, like, I'm not trying to like just defend the show. Like, whenever you bring something up, like, I completely, like, your opinions are completely valid. I just think, like, for me, I felt like from the beginning it was kind of established like that, though. Like the way that Alora gave them the Bayards, it was like, this is your special tool that every paladin needs. And like, it was just kind of like, like it had some significance from the moment that it was introduced in the show, and it makes sense that is its significance, like even beyond being used outside the Lions, that it's also used within the Lions, because then why is it like a paladin thing?
Yeah, no, and that's why it's not like a super big deal for me. Like, I don't mind it as much as I normally would.
Yeah,
but yeah,
because of that.
I wrote. I'm gonna ignore my first two notes because they're insignificant, like your creek. I wrote. Hello, it is episode 3, and I already feel compelled to skip the Voltron formation animation. I think I need to be a kid. I think I need to be a kid watching episodes that came out once a week to be like, whoa, every time. Otherwise, I'm just
that's true.
10,
and like
10,
if you're
10.
binging it, like you just saw that.
Right, I just saw it
I
happen.
definitely skipped the animation a little bit when I watched the show.
Oh, and I had a similar note as my final note for episode 3, which is Netflix episode 3. I wrote, I think my lion is telling me what to do is a very scary phrase that I feel like they can always use as a cop-out. I hope they don't.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote. And I'm just, and like you said about the Deus Ex Machina thing, I get that it's fair since it's early episodes, but I feel like you can always just take the phrase, I think my lion is telling me what to do, or I think my lion has the solution, or, it's like, I thought that was scary. I didn't think it was like an issue with the episode per se. It's just more like the way the team is gonna fight in the future. It kind of scared me when they said, I think my lion is telling me what to do.
Yeah, like if they keep doing that, if it's like the final battle and it's like, whoa, our lions are telling us what to do, then like
also wasn't it Keith?
Wasn't it
Keith who said that? Because Keith is the most impulsive character in Voltron, especially early on. So, like, well, I suppose arguably, but
I think that's like he's supposed to be.
Yeah. So, like, it is kind of problematic, I suppose, that's his like first initial thing that he says in that context. But,
I don't think it's a problem early on. I think it would become a problem if they keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. This episode is when Shiro calls Pidge Katie for the first time.
Yes.
Was there any like surprise or anything regarding that whole situation?
I wasn't really shocked because I remember like when I first started watching, or like when I watched like the first 2 episodes like a while back. I have like cousins who are like really into Voltron. So I mentioned the fact that like I wasn't sure if Pidge was like a boy or a girl, and then they like reacted in a way, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. But also like I don't like the way they reveal it like feels weird to me because
I have a whole rant. Let's get to that episode.
Fine.
I have a whole rant too. Well, let's get to that episode.
Well, I mean, if it has to do with the Katie aspect, you can say it now, because I mean, Shiro does call her Katie.
I guess when we get to like the reveal, I guess I don't know.
Right.
I mean, is that the next episode?
No.
I don't remember which episode.
It's episode 5.
It's episode 5.
Oh wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
No wait. Episode 6. It's episode 6.
It's episode 6? No.
Yeah.
What? No. What?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh yeah. It's episode 6.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, wait. Episode 5.
I guess we'll wait for that conversation. Were there any other thoughts on this episode?
That's all I've got.
3, I don't know, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I like how he was like, oh, it's the guy from when I was back in my prison days, back in my thing days, and
my thing days, by the way.
I don't know. I thought it was neat.
I like this episode. I really like the relationship between Shiro and Pidge. Like, I think that their vibes are really neat. And fight me.
No, I agree.
What happened? What?
I feel like they have.
I'm just drinking water. Are you?
I feel like Pidge has like the best dynamic with Shiro. I think because, I don't know. I don't know that Shiro like has like super great chemistry with the other characters, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, like, there's a reason I don't care for him like as much as the other characters. But yeah, I feel like out of all the characters, like his relationship with like Pidge is like the strongest, at least with Shiro.
Know when I should reveal my controversial take on who my least favorite character is, but
I go ahead. I mean,
so it's everybody's gonna come for me and come at me, and to be fair, as the show goes on, my opinion changes, but in the beginning, my least favorite character by far
Hunk.
is Keith.
Oh.
you don't
There's a
like Keith
problem?
actually.
I mean, I don't understand why that would be a bad thing. He's Lance's foil
like-
and nothing else.
He is emo mullet boy, Jordan. He is emo mullet boy. The fangirls are screaming, and they're
Lance's
mad at me.
foil and nothing else.
But I get that. I get that. Like, if I were to rank the characters, like from my favorite, like the main characters from favorite to least favorite, like he would be like above Shiro, and like Shiro's like last. And again, I don't dislike Shiro. I just like him the least
Because he's boring.
a little bit.
He's
I mean, he's kind of got
boring.
some like interesting like things. I just wasn't terribly invested.
I
in
solved
Yeah.
how to beat the thing because I suddenly remember. It's like I took issues with that. It was like Lion told me what to do kind of thing. Not as bad because that's fine, I guess, but I feel like again, you could just use that as an scapegoat of like that's how they figure out how to beat the bad. It's like there's very little struggle because you can just say, oh, my lion told me how to figure this out, or I suddenly remember how to beat it. It's not like and then what else is he? Leader? I feel no leadership presence from him. I'm drawn more to Lance as a leader for some reason.
Me too.
Really?
Okay. The only reason I feel like I felt like that is because like when in the beginning, like in episode 1, like it's like Lance, Hunk, and Pidge, and like Lance is like the de facto leader of the group, and also I just think he's more like I'm just more drawn to him as a character. So like when Shiro shows up, he's like, okay, I'm like the leader kind of guy, but I'm like, yeah, but I like Lance more.
Yeah,
So-
no, that's fair. I mean, Lance is my favorite character. I have a Lance cosplay jacket that I've worn everywhere, okay?
Yeah.
So Lance is by far my vibe. I love Lance. I don't know if I would say that he has leader qualities, but I do think
I don't know if I think he's a leader, but he feels
Yeah.
like a protagonist.
Yes, he
Yeah.
definitely does. And the first time I watched Voltron, I was like, okay, so who's the main character, you know? And like
Yeah.
from the first episode, I was like, oh, it's Lance. And then like other characters start getting involved. Lance almost sometimes shifts to like side character kind of role at certain points.
Yeah.
But then like he'll come back and he's kind of protagonist vibes, and it's like that's kind of interesting. I mean, I personally like that about the show, how there isn't just one protagonist. Like it is all of them equally in many different ways and at different points. Which like I just think that's interesting. But yes, Jordan.
Yes. So after this, when I was talking to my sister, like as I was watching the show, I came to that realization too. I'm like, I feel like there is no protagonist, and I feel like, in my opinion, that weakens the overall power to which you can give your characters depth. I feel like you're constantly bouncing around different people for your viewers to get invested in them. So I feel like my investment in Aang is the deepest because he's the main character. Next would be Zuko because he mirrors Aang, and then Sokka, Katara, Toph, so on, and that's why. And otherwise, now I'm like, I like pan through the cast and I'm like, okay, him, okay, no, not him. Oh wait, no, it's him, her. Is that main character? Is it? I have very little time to invest myself in these characters because they just keep bouncing around all over the place. for example, episode 4 felt more like it was about Hunk. Hunk and his relationship with the rock people. Please don't call me racist.
Yes.
They are rock people.
They are rock people.
But
would you be
They're the
racist for that?
Balmerans.
right,
The
because,
Balmera is a rock, so they are rock people.
They are
Yes.
rock people.
yeah, and that's how I felt when I was watching the show. And as such, I'm feeling this early on. I'm feeling Kingdom Hearts syndrome, which I will get into if we ever do Kingdom Hearts. But the problem with Kingdom Hearts one of the biggest problems I have with Kingdom Hearts storytelling is that you get so little time to learn about the main characters that it feels like you can't pinpoint unique characteristics about them, and I think that's a problem. And when I'm watching this show, I feel like I can't pinpoint unique traits to them, because it's like
I can
sometimes
see
it feels like they all want to be the comic relief, and then like 3 people want to be the leader, and then 2 people want to be the parent type, and then it's like, I don't know, that's my opinion.
See, like, it's really interesting, you guys only having seen the first season, and me having watched the first season like a solid 4 times. I know that sounds surprising because I don't remember a lot of things.
True, and yeah, that's pretty true.
But, like, I think I said this in a previous episode. One thing that I really like about shows in general is, like, the level of rewatchability. And, like, for me, one of the best like, my favorite thing about Voltron and my favorite thing about media that I'm drawn to is character development. Like, I love good characters, and that's
Then why do you
I
like
watch
this
shows.
show?
Because it's so interesting how it's set up. Because as you keep watching it, you get to know every single character so deeply and so well. And it's so well developed by the end that you go back to the first episode and you're like, whoa, they're setting up so many things that, like, if I was a writer, or I think most writers, like, would never even think of, like, to implement. Like, I mean, even they're just, like, simple lines that are just so, like, just in passing. Like, I'm not gonna highlight any of them because spoilers, but, like,
Yeah, like,
they're
I'm gonna
just
watch the rest of the show.
little things that you find in every episode that's like, oh my goodness, like, this is so relevant. Like, it's so important that this character says this and this character feels this way and acts this way in this particular situation. And it's crazy that they can do something like that in this show, where it doesn't seem like that kind of show at all from the first season. Like, it's just, the first season's so much different from the rest of the show. I don't know what else to say. It just is.
It just is by Image X. Sorry, please stream it on YouTube and SoundCloud. Go on.
But yeah, I mean, like, you're bringing up a lot of valid points, and, like, I agree. It is interesting at the first season, and I wasn't obsessed with the show by any means at the first season. I got into it a lot when, like, Lotor is in it. Cool, Lotor. Anyways,
I mean,
moving on.
Wait. I had some
I still
thoughts
have more thoughts. Go on.
that. Like, okay, like, I see where you're coming from, Jordan. Like, the whole, I don't think it's impossible to have a show that doesn't have like a definitive, like, protagonist.
Right.
And, like, still make it work. I know you haven't watched Stranger Things, but I think Stranger Things is, like, a good example. Like, there's no one who's like definitively, like, the protagonist. Like, in season 1, it's like it's kind of Finn Wolfhard's character, but then, like, by season 2, like, he's not really a main character anymore. And I think the show still works.
Teen
But I
Titans,
do agree that
they work.
I just kind of wanted more. I wanted more, like, spending time with, like, individual characters. Like, I wanted to know the characters more. So, like, I liked it when they weren't like acting as, like, a unit, because at that point it was just like, oh, teamwork, and I enjoyed it more. like episode 4, when it was just like Hunk doing his own thing, I was like, okay, cool, I get to learn more about this guy who I think is pretty neat. And I kind of wish there was more of that. And obviously, like, it's just season 1. I don't know if they had enough time to, like, fully do that with, like, every character, and I guess they could have managed it better. But yeah.
See, okay. Why? It's just, why is it that when I watch shows with similar audiences, I feel compelled to watch the following seasons, but with this show, I feel like I have to watch the following seasons, and I think that's a problem for me. I feel like I want to get hooked and then keep going. For this one, it's like, do I have to keep going? You know, and that I think that's just a personal preference thing, but
Yeah.
and if I didn't do the podcast, I would have dropped the show by episode 3. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry I made you watch it.
especially since I had to sit through episode 7. Anyways, let's
Episode
let's move on.
Episode 7's so irrelevant to me that I find it funny that you have like so much to say about it, but it's okay. We'll get there. So episode 4, okay. I have notes on episode 4, but I'm not going to share them until anybody else shares their thoughts on episode 4.
Joseph.
The team.
Joseph.
Invaders storm the castle and destroy. We didn't talk about the little people, dudes. The little.
I don't remember what they were called.
I don't know
Because I
why they
have
were.
no-
I don't remember what they were called either. I feel like it's kind of like I forget who was like sus about the whole party, and they were like, maybe we should have the gates open, and they're like, it's fine. And then something happens. I'm like, okay, that's your fault.
Wait,
like,
by the
you
way,
should have had the gates open.
By the way, if anyone at home is playing Dude You Haven't Bingo, you can you can fill in the space that says someone says the word sus. Sorry, go on.
Is that a space? Is that
That should be a
something we do
space.
lot?
We say that a lot. I'm sorry. We
Do
say
we?
it
I don't think I
so
say it
much.
that much.
Well,
I almost
especially
it's
since
the
Lizzy
Among
came.
Us energy.
Especially since Lizzy came, we've been saying sus a lot.
Your speech.
I don't know if that's, I feel like you've been saying a lot of things since I joined. But
Joseph types exactly like you now that you guys are friends, and it's bothering me. Low key.
What?
Joseph
Not exactly.
Joseph he did not use to keyboard mash. He did not use to use sparkles.
Okay,
He
okay,
did not
I started doing that before I met Lizzy. There's other people I met who like got me to start keyboard mashing. I
But
just
you
started
never
doing it
keyboard
more.
mash with me. Am I different?
I just talk to people differently. Like,
Am I a
mirror
lower tier
people.
of friend or something? Like,
No, I just mirror how you talk when I text you personally.
Then why do you suck at grammar?
I've gotten better at grammar.
No, this
since
is
I've been
true.
friends
No,
with
this is
you.
true. This is true.
Crap. What, episode 4?
Yes, 4.
My voice.
Go on.
Okay. Crap. Okay. I probably should have taken notes on this episode.
Way to leave the audio listeners in silence. You're just like, did my audio pause? No. Oh, Joseph's just taking a sip of water. Sorry. Go on.
Jordan.
Yeah.
You give me your thoughts, and then I can probably bounce off of those.
My first note of episode 4. I think I need to turn my brain off during plot stuff and actually invest in the characters. Maybe I'll like the show more that way. It didn't work, but
Dang.
that's season 1. Again, that's just season 1, by the way.
Yeah.
And all the people at home are just be like, but you can watch. My sister literally described the show to me where she's like, it's like a mountain. It goes up, and then it goes down. So
about the going down bit, but I have very different opinions than most people about the last season. But
Oh,
anyways,
do
continue.
you? Oh, dang!
Yeah.
Hot takes.
I love the last season, but anyway, continue.
I don't know if I want to go through 8 seasons for the podcast. So,
It's
Oh.
fair. It's fair.
anyways, and then I said, "Oh yeah, there was this." I reached a point in this episode where I'm like, "Okay, so Allura said that there was a Bayard. That's what they're called, right? Yeah, there's a Bayard
Yeah.
for every paladin." And then she said, in episode 1, "Oh, yours is with the Black Lion." She said to Shiro, "Oh, yours is with the Black Lion. Where is it? Is it his hand?"
Did she say it was with the Black Lion, or did she say
She
it was
literally
missing?
said it's with the Black Lion.
Zarkon has it, doesn't he? Because when he's fighting Keith, the weapon keeps changing. I think that's a Bayard.
I thought.
I don't remember the
Bayard.
line specifically, but
Bayards can change, or is it just the black one? I need to be told this because the show didn't tell
They
me.
can all change shape, I'm pretty sure, but like it takes time. I think. I haven't seen the entire. I might have literally just made that up, but I think they all can change. Like
Herein lies the problem with the world building. Continue. I mean, that's
Well, I don't
all
think that's something that's like necessary for season 1. Like, I feel like that, like the Bears are something they can introduce, and then as like the show goes, they can like elaborate on them.
But if they could have told me, okay, at the same time that would have ruined the reveal that Zarkon was the old Black Lion. Ooh, but at the same time, if they like told me somehow, if they at least just told me like Zarkon has the Black Bayard. Okay, you didn't have to tell me he was the Black Lion or he was the original Black Lion or whatever. And then if you tell me that, yeah, okay, and that leaves you in a little bit of suspense for the reveal later on. For me, I suppose. For me, the reveal just came out of nowhere. That's a later episode. We can talk there. But yeah, and then I said, oh boy, environmentalist and LGBT agenda all in one episode. Wow. And those are my thoughts on episode 4.
Walk me through that.
Wait, was episode 4?
Yeah, episode 4 was the rock people. And
oh crap, that is where they introduced the rock people, you're right.
And it was like, oh, they're exploiting
I get that part.
Yeah. Oh, they're exploiting the LGBT agenda. You know, it was Pidge dealing with the whole gender thing. And like,
I don't know if that's
I know.
Situation. There's this. Okay, I don't want to spoil anything. There's one scene that led to a lot of fandom discussion on Pidge's gender orientation, but I mean, it's complicated. She's a girl pretending to be a boy, and like there are a lot of things that go along with that, and different people see different things in that. And honestly, like for me, it's just like if you're watching a show, and this is just how I feel about it in general. Like if you're watching a show and you identify with a character's struggle, whether or not that struggle is there in reality, like it's whatever, you know? Like I don't really think it's like queer baiting or anything like that. Like a lot of people say that there's a lot of like queer baiting in Voltron. Like I don't see that. I just see like if you see something and you get something out of it, then that's great. Like if you don't, you don't. Like it's just if you feel the things, you feel the things. If you don't feel the things, you don't feel the things, okay? That's just how I feel about it.
That was a good TED Talk right there.
Thank you. I tried. So yeah, like a lot of people ship clans, which is its own thing. The fandom had a lot of things to say about clans. Personally, I didn't really.
Didn't they try to blackmail the studio into making clans canon?
There was
like
a
someone.
Lot of...
There was. I know about some Voltron drama.
Yes, I'm not a big fan in general of the Voltron fandom, and I'm not a fan of how they reacted to certain things that happened in the show and certain things that the writers tried to implement or tried to like take back a little bit, I guess. I mean, like it's just like people saw what they wanted to see and then that was like it. And I don't like that either. It's like you can see what you want to see, but like keep it in your head, you know? Like it's your interpretation. You can keep it there.
Like
and
Zutara.
That's great.
Like
but
Zutara.
like you can't like force something. Yeah.
Like
I
Zutara.
never wanted Zutara to be like particularly canon in the show, right? Like that wasn't my agenda in shipping Zutara.
Yeah, I know.
I do ship
Zutara. I know you weren't gonna blackmail the studio.
But like I feel like a lot of people who ship Zutara wouldn't have done that. With Voltron, the fandom was like kind of loco and like it was problematic. Like it was genuinely problematic and it killed a lot of people's appreciation of the show. Like I have so many friends who watched Voltron like religiously. They really loved the show and then they just got so heated by the fandom's fire that it was like I don't like the show anymore. And I'm like
BTS.
Come on, like Yeah, exactly. That's actually a really good example. It's like when a fandom's opinions start changing your perception of the thing, you need to step outside the fandom. And like that's how I felt about this show. I disagreed with the fandom on so much, especially because I shipped a Lawrence. So like like that was always my ship from the very first episode, from the very first I'm Lance and you're right here in my arms.
Imagine.
That was my ship, okay? It was so good. It was so cringy and it was so good. And so, like, it was just like, for me, I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed everything that happened in the show. I enjoyed, like, everything that ended in the show. And a lot of people didn't. And a lot of people got really aggressive and violent about it. If you go on Voltron's Instagram and you look at the comments on, like, the last posts of about, like, the last season, all you will see is hate comments. Like, everything. It's so much negativity, so much trying to, like, cancel the show and cancel the writers and cancel the actors, the voice actors, and it's like it's crazy. Like Jeremy Shada at one point said something about like how he thought Clance was really funny, like he kind of like he shipped it like as a joke, and the fandom like tried to like cancel him because they were like he was like feeding our flames and now it's not like happening, like what's going on. And that's
like
just,
Dante Bosco shipping Zutara. Go on.
But see, that's fine. Like Jeremy Shada shipping Clance, I thought was genuinely
that's
like
funny.
A good bit. Like I thought it was funny. I thought it was cool. You know, like he's enjoying the fandom. He's enjoying the fact that people ship these characters, and that's fun. That's like it's enjoying something about people's interpretation, and that's fine. The fandom should have like celebrated that, but instead they got mad at him for it. And that it's just like. There's a lot of controversy in the Voltron fandom. A lot of people might hate me if they ever watch this episode.
Are we gonna get canceled by Voltron fandom?
I think we might. We're
gonna get canceled by the Voltron fandom.
I'm sorry if you dislike or throw a hate at Lizzy for what she just said, you are insta blocked everywhere. You are an absolute degenerate if you throw hate for that. Like, I'm sorry. If you were a toxic Voltron fan and you are throwing hate at Lizzy, the one who actually liked the show, then please give me all your social media ads so I can block you everywhere. Thank you. Hate me. Hate me. I don't like the show. Hate me. Done.
I appreciate it. That was a good rant right there. I appreciated that. But yeah, that's my take on the fandom Clance and general fandom controversy, and also my take a little bit on the Pidge gender orientation bit.
Bit. Haha, it is a bit, right?
It's just like,
sorry.
It's just like if you see something, and that's valid, and that's fine, and that's great. And if you don't, you don't, and that's fine, and that's valid, and it's just whatever.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, episode 4. Did you have any other comments on it?
That's all I've got.
I just also we should probably move a little bit faster.
Oh yeah, we should probably.
We're over an hour and 20.
I just want to say maybe we can skip a little bit.
No,
but I just want to say in episode 4.
I have major thoughts on episode 5. Go on.
Okay. I really find it funny, like the whole bit with first of all, episode 4, I just like Pidge's storyline about her like feeling like, is it homesick? Is that the episode where she feels all homesick and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where she's like she wants to leave.
Yeah, she wants to leave. Lance feels homesick and she wants to leave.
Yeah.
And I like that episode because I feel like you start to really get to know Pidge as a character, and I like Alora finding out that she's a girl and trying to be like, you can talk to me about
that was funny to me.
That are private. You can tell me anything.
She felt like a mom who was like trying to like.
Oh wait, wasn't that that was episode 5?
But, like, they just didn't want to.
That was episode 5.
Oh, was that episode 5?
That was episode 5.
I thought that was episode 5 or 4.
It was this one.
I have it as episode 4 in my notes. But...
Yeah,
really?
they're having the part that's like before everything.
Oh, that was
happened,
before everything. Right. Go on. Yeah. Go on.
But I also really liked like Pidge being their only hope in that situation, because like I feel like when you feel insignificant in a team, like one of the best ways to kind of like
me
feel back on track is to be like, no, you're needed. And like, you are needed, Jordan, you are
Jordan,
needed.
you're
okay?
needed.
No, it's like everybody has their role, right? And like, I think that that's a really important lesson to learn. And I like that Pidge experiences that and has that journey in this episode. And I think that that's a good lesson, especially like for kids, you know? Like, I think it's a good episode. I think it is inspirational. Okay.
Okay.
Episode 5. Episode 5.
Okay, Jordan, you have thoughts.
Do you have no thoughts?
I'll build off your thoughts.
You will build a shed. Anyways, okay. The flashback of Pidge watching her the news story about her dad and all the things that lead her to the academy. I took huge issues with the continuity. For example, for example, this is the main example. Young Pidge, before going to the academy and cutting her hair and all that, looked, or no, not even, before she even broke into the thing or whatever the thing, I don't remember the world, and stole whatever thing, right? Before this, she looked convincingly like a girl. And then literally the scene immediately after the reveal that her dad was lost, their dad and brother are lost, she finally looked convincingly like a dude. I was thrown way off. It's like they used different art for me. In my eyes, it looked completely different.
I didn't notice that.
Did she have her glasses on previous to cutting her hair? She
yes.
did?
Oh, at least to my memory. I don't remember. But regardless, it wasn't even the face. It was like the body build too. She looked like a scrawny boy. Like, the scene immediately after.
Yeah.
I feel like they do something similar with like Mulan, like when they like draw her like when she's like dressed as like a woman, like they make her
a little curvier,
the subtle ways. And then like when they draw her as like a dude, like she's a little bit more like angular.
Stocky. Yeah.
I mean, it's also like, I mean, if any girl were like in that situation, you would imagine that she would like wear a binder or whatever, or like wear baggier clothes or whatever. Like it changes. Like,
so binders are confirmed canon to be in the Voltron universe. And even then, no, but even then, young Pidge, no, there's nothing to bind. It doesn't matter.
I mean, she's not that young. She's like 15.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing to bind.
But I don't think we should be talking about 15-year-olds curves.
Yeah, that's a little. Maybe not.
This is the way my brain thinks about continuity. And in my eyes,
try to find a picture to see.
In my eyes, it was literally like, oh, she's looking at the news. I believe she's a girl. Boom, she's stealing a thing. She looks like a dude, and I'm like, what am I looking at? I'm like,
baby.
Well, like, wait, is there a time difference between those two scenes? Because like, if there are, like, that you could make the argument that she's just like grown a little.
How long?
And then that's what the difference is. I don't know if there's a time difference or not, but if there is, then that's what I would imagine it being.
I don't know. They didn't tell me. That's the thing. They didn't tell me. So I
would imagine there would be.
Okay, then I had to assume that time period. Then I have to assume the time difference.
Was it two different flashbacks?
It was literally the scene immediately after. I wrote this specifically.
Okay.
Because I saw, what do you call? Oh, what was I had a thing and then you interrupted me. It's okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Then, okay. So you're telling me she grew up a little. So she grew nothing? It's just that she ended up growing to look more like a boy? Unless she went through like some transition process I didn't notice? Has she been taking testosterone?
I don't know exactly what you're talking about. I'm looking at a screen cap right now. One with like Pidge, like with like the long hair and like her dress, and the other like current Pidge, and then like current Pidge has like a slightly more like chiseled jaw.
But that's the thing, Joseph. Hair. That's the thing, Joseph. In the scene immediately after, she's still in a dress with long hair.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find the scene so I can see what you're talking about.
We can do this later.
This is not...
Okay, I didn't notice that. It wasn't an issue for me, but I guess I can see it.
Right, this is a continuity error for me, and an inconsistency in the art. For me, it's like, if you go ahead and draw her convincingly like a boy from the beginning, at like her youngest, then go ahead. I don't care. But if you drew her to convince me that she's a girl, and then literally one scene later, she looks like a guy. So I got very confused. And then this rant kind of continues into episode 6. But oh, okay. Next rant. Oh wait. Oh, you have more thoughts. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
It's telepathy between Allura and the mice. They don't just understand each other after hearing each other. It's telepathy. She can talk to the mice from miles away, or whatever the miles are for Alteans.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about. When the mice go into the thing.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
Wouldn't that be how they communicate normally? And then like when she's with them, the mice are just also like emoting.
They're emoting.
Well.
They're squeaking and emoting.
Like, yeah, well, they're like emoting, but like the communication would be like telepathic, I would imagine. That's just what makes sense to me, because like the pods and they're on the same wave.
Yes,
like,
but when they're showing me in the initial episodes before this one, where they're talking to each other, they're communicating with each other, squeak squeak response, squeak squeak response, and then they set this up in this episode to be like, oh, it's telepathy. What? They can communicate long distances.
Maybe they just prefer to talk verbally, but like when they have to.
Then tell me from the get-go, it's like telepathy. Then I would have thought.
I don't think that it's the writer's obligation also to like tell you.
Okay, then don't tell.
The thing.
Okay, you don't have to tell me. At least establish its telepathy in earlier episodes. In earlier episodes, I'm shown it's squeak squeak response.
Perhaps.
But now in this one, it's telepathy. By the way.
I guess. Any other thoughts?
I could go on another rant about the fact that these magic healing machines were called magic healing machines in this episode, but I'm not gonna...
Wait, was that their official name?
No, exactly. I hope not. I literally wrote, please
Who
God
refers
have
to
a
it as
different
magic healing machines?
hunk.
Okay, if it was Hunk, or like if it was someone who wasn't Allura or a Space Luigi, then like
that's why I'm with
probably...
He was Space Waluigi. Come at me. Space Waluigi.
I think he's like somewhere in between Luigi and Waluigi. I don't think he's quite Waluigi.
That was good. I have not heard that one.
Really? I thought it.
I have not. Episode 5 is also when Hunk meets Shay.
Yeah. His rock girlfriend? I don't remember that. Yeah, okay.
I mean, technically she did. Yeah. He did meet her in episode 4, and then
I like this episode.
Right. No, they started... Remember they introduced Balmera in episode 4, and then they resolved the issue in episode 5. So, that's... Episode 4 is...
Oh, is that where... Wait, no. I thought they resolved it in 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they resolve it later.
Okay, so, like, in episode 4 is, like, when it begins, and then 5 is, like, when Hunk and Space Luigi are, like, on, like, Balmera, and they need a thing, and then they're like, oh, everything's terrible here.
Then why did
they have to leave to go back and fix whatever's happening back on back at the castle, and then after they resolve that, they want to go back and help the Balmerans or whatever. Episode 7.
Or what do you call it? Wikipedia episode 6, which is our episode 4. They discovered that it has been taken over by the Galra and crashed in the subterranean mines.
Yes.
Did he not meet her then?
Yeah, okay, yeah, he meets her then.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Literally,
I mean, I wrote...
The Wikipedia summation afterwards is Hunk and Karan meet local Balmerans, Shay and Rax. Okay. See, these episodes blur together.
I don't know.
Together.
Yeah,
I mean, I wrote in episode 5, Hunk meets Shay.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I think that's fair. But I don't know.
Joseph, what were you saying?
I just like this episode a lot because like it gives you like a little more time like with Hunk, and like that's just something like I wanted more of like the characters like by themselves like doing their things rather than them like being a team, even though that's kind of the point. But like I don't know, like when you spend time with the characters like individually, you get to know them a little bit better than like when they're all together as Voltron, you know. So,
yeah,
like,
totally actually agree with that. I personally don't love the episodes where there are like just fights. Like
Yeah.
the reason why episode 7 is like totally irrelevant to me because it's like mostly just like fighting. But like I like the episodes where like they go on adventures, which is why I like some of like the filler episodes in Voltron like the best, because you see them in like different settings and like it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But anyways, should we move on to episode 6?
Yes, please.
Okay, we're like, okay, episode 6. I freaking love episode 6. Thoughts on episode 6?
Joseph, go first.
I like how hold on, someone is pinging the heck out of Discord right now. Shut up.
I know, right? For the viewers at home, please be careful who and when you ping. Thank you. PSA over.
So like what, this episode they're like going back to Bulmera to like help Hunk's rock girlfriend. And then like they get a distress signal, and then I'm gonna say sus again, so like take a shot or whatever. But then they get a distress signal, and then we're like, we gotta help these people, and then Hunk is like super sus of them, but also like he's just kind of pissy because he wants to go help his rock girlfriend. And like I don't know, I like Lance's like flirting with like the weird alien girl.
Yes.
And I think that's funny.
My favorite line in this episode is when, well, I don't know if it's a line, but my favorite bit in this episode is when she like takes the handcuffs and then he blushes and, and he's like,
Lance is kind of kinky, not gonna lie.
That's best bit in season 1, arguably. Anyways,
I like the bit where like he's like showing her the lion, and she's like, "Oh, why don't you like take me for a ride?" And he's like, "I don't know if I should do that." And then she's like, "I bet Keith would." And then he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he does it.
And then he sits in her lap. I love this so much. Yes.
I don't know at what time and place I needed to see that for that to be funny, but it was so expected I didn't really find it funny. But that's my opinion.
I mean, I don't think it's not expected.
Yeah, it's not like a friggin' plot twist, but I think it's a funny bit.
Exactly, but I didn't find it funny because it was too expected. I don't know. Sometimes the humor, like there were definitely some good moments of humor with the show, but other times it just fell flat to me, and I'm just like, am I supposed to laugh here? And I felt kind of bad, but again, this is season 1 writers, and it's interesting that side thing that's not directly related to the episode. I forgot to mention this. You tell me like everything is so deliberate from the start, right? Like it's so important that this character says this and this. My sister told me she felt the opposite. Like the writers figured it out as they went on, like we're doing with Space Pirate Zero. Oop. but they're like, she felt as though it was written just as it went on, and then they're just constantly figuring out the next big bad, and so I found it very interesting that you said
fandom argument. Like, a lot of the fandom does feel that way. I mean, I personally completely disagree, and I think that I disagree because, I mean, especially the first episode, like that first episode I've watched a series of 9 or 10 times. So, I, like, honestly have picked up on, every single time I watch it, I pick up on something new. And I'm like, whoa, like, this line corresponds to something that's said way later in the season, and I'm like, how did people like not talk about this? They're not the season, the show. Okay. How did people like not talk about this or not acknowledge this? Especially the first episode. Like I guess I can see at certain points, like as the show goes on, like there are little bits where like there's like, especially like Hagar, her monsters and things like that, like those could be seen as like, what's the next big bad thing that we can throw at them? But I personally think it's all kind of pointing toward the storyline with Lotor and like everything that happens there, which I'm not going to talk about, and like the conclusion to what happens with Lotor and everything that happens there. I think it points directly toward that. But yeah, I'm not going to talk about it. So I don't think I agree with that. I have seen that argument on both sides though before. I mean, people also say that the fandom's response to like all of the like queer baiting affected the writers, but I didn't see it. I mean, there's one character who is like confirmed as gay, and some of the fandom were like really happy about it. Some of the other fandom was like, this is just because we were complaining that we wanted clans and like they had to give us something. And like it's just like, honestly, I don't know what's going through the writer's mind. I think that the writers had a destination, because to me it looks like they do, but I can see it either way, I suppose.
Okay.
If that answers your question.
Well, it's not. It wasn't really a question. It was just more like that's a thing I observed, or that's a thing my sister observed, and that's the way she felt. But anyways, Joseph, any other thoughts on episode 6 before I get onto my rant?
Episode 6. Is this the one? Wait, was this the one where they? Was it not episode 5 where like Pidge is like, oh, I'm actually a girl?
6.
Or was it
six.
this one?
It was 6.
It was 6.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's
should I
begin
give
this
my thoughts
discussion.
about that before? Is that what your rant's about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so should I give my thoughts about that before you rant?
If it's up to you.
Okay, I guess I will. So like I get like the in story reason why like Pidge was pretending to be a boy and then like wasn't, and then like I also feel like that could also kind of be a nod to like the 80s show, because back in that version like Pidge was a boy, so like that could sort of be like an interesting thing they did there. But like it felt very like when like the reveal happens in like whatever episode it was where like Shiro like is like, oh, I know that you're actually a girl, and then like it feels like it's building up to something, and then like it doesn't really end up being anything. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm a girl, and then like everyone except for, was it Lance?
Lance.
Was like, yeah, we kind of knew already, and then Lance was like, what? And then like that was it. So I mean, like that was kind of it. I was just like, okay, so it's just like, oh, now everyone knows that she's a girl now, and it's it.
Yes. Word for word from what I wrote when I saw this moment. Why did they make Pidge's gender a point of conflict, but then just drop it and have her reveal it at the start of the episode with no build-up other than man up? I can't man up because I'm a girl. Like, I took...
not that I have to go into like complete defense mode, like complete feminist mode, which I love. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, for me, that's... If you're gonna make this a point of conflict in previous episodes, please give me a payoff that was more worth it than just at the start of the in the middle of the season episode, just doing it just because. I felt like I needed to see more of a reason for her to be like, okay, it's time for me to tell them.
I mean, I agree. I think though that I don't know. See, this is my thought on that. It's like, you know, like when you want to tell somebody something and it's just like, but like you're scared and like it's like scary, and so then like you build it up in your head and you're also like experiencing things and you're like, I don't know if I should like go here, and then like it just comes out of your mouth. Like, I don't know. I think it's really realistic and really relatable, you know?
Why did they make me feel like it was a point of conflict
because it was for her.
Yes, a point of conflict that was like essential to that character, and then just write it off in one episode. It didn't feel like okay, I have to tell them now. She just told them. At least that's in my opinion.
Guess.
Because yes, you're working up in your head a time. Yes, I get that feeling of you're working up a time to like reveal that kind of thing. I get that. But when you're writing it in the story for it to be a plot point for this character's arc, at least within the season, then you have to give me a better payoff than just at the start of the episode or at the start of the next episode. With nothing other than man up being the lead-in. I hated that.
I like the bit. I like it. I mean, it didn't bother me.
I like
can see how-
the bit, but also I do agree that like I don't know what the payoff would have been. You know, like I agree that there should have been a payoff because they do kind of like build it up, but like I don't know how they would have done it like a sufficient payoff.
The reveal itself, and then everyone except Lance, because joke, everyone being like, "Yeah, we knew. We already accepted that." That's your payoff. But there was no.
Okay.
But since it was at the start of this episode, we had no idea that this was going through her head in this moment. That it's like, oh, should I tell them now? Should I tell them now? This is like a huge thing for me. I should really do this. But I didn't feel that at all. It was just, oh, by the way, I'm a girl. Like,
that's how it like turns out though. Like when you're like confessing something, right? You just like say it quickly, and then it's like I don't know. I don't know. It was a spur of the moment thing, right? Yeah.
Point. There's no back and forth within your own head before you reveal that kind of thing in real life. Sure, it can be really, really fast. But...
no.
Yeah, exactly. Sure, it can happen really fast. It can happen really fast, and it'll show up like an instant. But in your mind, it's hard to write that. It's hard to write that in a story.
That's true.
And then make the audiences feel empathetic or feel like that this was a worthwhile payoff.
Yeah. Well, I think we should move on because we are like really over time.
Oh crap, you're right.
And also we're only on episode 7 now, and I know Jordan has a lot to say about episode 7, and there are 11 episodes. So let's try and like maybe power through a little bit more.
All right.
Okay.
Power through.
Quick opinion. It's a lifetime of fighting the Galra that led me to where I am today. The bounty hunter guy or whatever that wanted to bring them in at the start. I wrote that I hope he comes back and is important, or else I found it problematic that they wanted me to be sympathetic towards someone that duped our main characters. Anyways, episode 7.
Mm-hmm. I also really like Rolo, by the way. He's like a solid ass character. I think he's cool, but anyway, continue.
The guy who like could prank them, not could prank them.
Could prank.
Yeah. Okay, episode 7. Episode 7. Thoughts quickly, perhaps.
Okay, I'll let Jordan go because I don't have
any particular.
I don't know.
Thoughts?
It's just another fight. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't have any like.
So in this,
thoughts.
okay, my first note. Why did what my notes are freaking. Excuse me. Why did the Galra technology authorize Keith's handprint? Humor? Haha, funny. Okay. I
can't answer that. Continue.
Well, okay. He's gone. He's just gone.
I mean, I couldn't not reply to that one.
Okay. I think it was pretty neat. It was this the one where they did the hunk cannon? Hunk's cannon's pretty cool.
I don't specifically remember. Hello, welcome back.
This writing is so bad.
Keep going. I
Alright.
disagree, but keep going.
Go on.
Okay. Okay. So it was also in this. Since this whole thing was basically a fight scene. I thought Lance's weapon was a gun, not a shield. Unless they all get shields, then what makes Keith's shield special? Because there was a moment where he like took his weapon and it turned into a shield, and then he's also shooting. Anyways, that's not as important as my main, my absolute least favorite scene in this entire show, or at least in this entire season, happened within in a matter of 5 seconds. At the 19-minute mark, if you ever want to go back, if any of you want to go back on Netflix and watch the 19-minute mark for about 5 seconds. Okay, so since you guys don't remember this moment specifically, I wrote down an explanation. Hung takes out a few Galra ships after emerging from an explosion. He's a sitting duck. Then the shot pans to other Galra ships about to rain down on him. Pidge swoops in with a seemingly new shield thingy on his lion and saves Hunk. Hunk has the yellow lion, supposedly the lion with the biggest defense. Are the weapons on those particular ships strong enough to penetrate that? Did Pidge already know this, somehow require this new shield thingy that I've never seen, and then catch Hunk in danger? Not even a minute ago, Hunk was confident enough to destroy the same kinds of ships by ramming into them. Addendum to this point, I rewound, and the shield is already there. So what makes this shield more special than the fact that the Yellow Lion itself was supposedly built with the highest defense? Essentially, what compelled Pidge to swoop in when she's smart enough to know that he would have been okay?
That was so specific that I don't think...
This moment of... this mere 5-second moment threw away so many things that they established that they wanted me to take note of about their characters, or at least their fighting power, just for one moment for Pidge to save Hunk. They threw away so much what I already thought, just for this one little moment, and I hated it.
I'm sorry you felt that way.
I watched this scene 5 times to make sure that I caught the moments correctly. He literally rams into the same kinds of ships. And
okay,
and
but they're shooting at him. They're not like running into him. They're going pew pew pew. So like
oh, but is he not taking shots anyways? What makes these 3 ships together so special that when they rain down on Hunk, he's in danger?
I mean,
it's to highlight the teamwork, because it makes the dream work. I don't know. I don't have a solid defense.
Exactly. You don't, because the fighting scenes in this show are so awkward. They're trying so hard to fit in these moments to make you feel like they're working together as a team, when in reality they're falling flat because it's falling flat because they're breaking their own rules. That's how I felt about this moment.
I suppose. I don't know. I guess. I mean, for me, the fight scenes are fight scenes. Like, that's just how I take them at, like, face value. I don't even pay attention to them as much as the rest of the show. They're also not why I watch the show. So, like, I don't have any defense, and I also don't feel like I need one, so it doesn't, like, bother me or affect my perception, but, like, I can see how it could somebody else's.
Yes, it's like, I swear, I promise you, I am watching this show with the same lens I watch similar shows. It's a kid's show that can appeal to wider, older audiences with great action scenes and, wanting you to get into the characters, or with action scenes, and wanting you to get into the characters while also at the same time uncovering some deeper plot that's going on. Teen Titans, Young Justice, Justice League Unlimited, all those shows that had that. And it worked for me. This show, because of the fighting scenes, it's all falling flat.
That's your hot take. That's a valid hot take. I don't know what
spicy takes happening here.
Yeah, Jordan has spicy opinions on Voltron.
Pretty spicy.
I have never watched something that is so, like, popular and liked that I disliked so strongly. And I felt bad, because I swear I wanted to like this show. I tried so hard, because I like Teen Titans and Young Justice. You know?
That's incredible. I mean, I don't care. Like, I don't have any opinions about you having strong opinions about the show. Like, it's fine. I just find it funny that, like, you have so many opinions.
Because the writing is so bad. In this one season.
I think we are, like, really running out of time. So
okay.
We should probably,
can we skip 8? Because I think 8 is just the conclusion to 7.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, yes. Carries over from episode 7. For clarification, I am reminded that the green lion is Voltron's left hand, the hand that holds the shield. If this hand holds the shield, has defense on its back that's apparently stronger than the yellow lion, why is this one not the lion of defense? This lion has both that big shield thingy on the back that's somehow better than the yellow lion, but it's not the defense lion.
You thought about this.
Sturdier than the arms.
I need it to work. I need these scenes to work, man.
you thought about this so hard
so
and like
much. Because
Well, I mean,
I admire your dedication to thinking about this show.
this whole problem I have with the fighting scenes or with these moments, it's like it basically sums up why I don't like the show. It's wanting to give you moments, but it has to break its own rules to do it. Or it either has to break its own rules or forget to tell you some rules.
Suppose if you think so.
I've played through the Kingdom Hearts games. I've been through bad writing before, so I know when to spot it.
So episode 9, I guess we're skipping to, or maybe we should. Can we combine 9?
Laura considered making heartbreaking sacrifice.
Oh, wait,
is
can
that
I
the one with
say-
the spooky castle?
Can I say?
Oh, yo, yes.
Okay. Can I
9
say?
is a good episode.
Oh, 9 is a good episode. I actually liked episode 9.
Yeah, I like
Episode
9.
8.
Wow.
I liked one thing from episode 8. The explanation of the symbiotic relationship between the Balmera and the Alteans. Thank you for a decent explanation for your world building. I liked it. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool.
That was the first
Cool.
time I
Glad.
liked
Glad.
something they did with the world building.
I actually love Voltron's world building, not gonna lie, but anyways, continue.
Another thing I had about episode 8. How can every rock person, I forgot what, Balmerans, yes, hear the speech Allura is giving without touching the walls? Does not seeing others touching the wall compel them to do the same? They're listening to Allura give the speech by touching the wall. I see some touch the wall to listen in, but some are standing still as if they can hear him. As if they can hear her.
One, maybe they can hear through their feet, and 2,
why are they touching the walls?
Rocks. So,
listen-
like,
Then why are they
listen
touching the walls?
Better
because
listening.
yes, to listen better.
But they show me that the communication is done through the touching of the wall.
Bro, I don't know. I don't know the answers to your questions.
That
and
that
that
is
you
the
have
issue with
many.
the show.
I think
Episode
you should
9.
write a strongly worded letter
No,
to a
I'm not.
Voltron genius.
I'm
Not the writers, but a Voltron genius.
Because the writers
trust
don't know
me,
what
the
they're
writers
doing.
Have gotten enough. Debatable, but okay.
okay. They didn't know what they were doing at season 1. There. I guess also debatable.
I accept that opinion more. But okay. Well, I accept all of your opinions. Let me rephrase, but I vibe with that more. Okay. Episode 9. It was a spooky episode, which is a good episode. Everybody liked this
Castle,
episode.
I
Any
like
like
this one.
quick comments on this episode?
I don't know. I just thought it was like fun watching them like do the things. Lance almost gets like launched out of a freaking what's it called? The
airlock.
Air thingy. The
Air
airlock.
thingy.
That was
How
pretty
many
funny.
sci-fi things have you watched, read, or seen? We are writing
How
a
much Among Us
sci-fi.
have you played?
We
I
are
had
writing a
Aydin
sci-fi
Proud gave me a
story.
sci-fi battery. Do you think I know sci-fi words?
Anyways, okay,
There's
so
no reason I asked for help.
right. Anyways, keep going.
I don't have any strong opinions. I just really like this episode. I think it was fun, and then also at the end there was like a moment, for Allura, and then like her dad dies, even though he's already dead, but now he's even more dead, and that's pretty
Yes.
sad. That's pretty messed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're done. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is not a problem, just a question. So, please, is the technology that keeps Altean memories alive the explanation as to why King Alfor can what do you call it? There's an AI for King Alfor to converse with Allura. Because when I thought in episode 1 they showed me King Alfor is alive in the ship or in the castle talking to Allura, I thought it was just going to be a Superman situation where it was like pre-recorded messages where with Superman's father. But with this one, they show me that they can actively converse. So is that the explanation? The fact that they have the memories intact and that it's like that's what's going on?
Yeah, he's
That's what I
been
understood it
programmed.
to
I
be.
mean,
Okay.
they say that it's like straight up an AI hologram or whatever.
Right.
Like it's so he's been programmed.
Okay.
to converse.
Okay, on another subject, again, I know you're not the technician that designed all the technology in this world, but why does turning off the power source for the King Alfor AI completely lose his memories forever? They don't turn him off before they go to sleep on an average day?
Well, I think they like shut it down, kind of turn it off.
Oh, so you're saying it was in sleep mode?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I understood it to be. Like when they had to like, I forget exactly how they phrased like what they needed to do to the castle to fix it, but like I understood it to be like a very like hard reset that like would have effectively like.
So turning off the power would be like a factory reset.
Yeah, like that.
Just turning off the power. I don't know.
I don't even think it was just. I mean, it's a kid's show, so maybe that's how they decided to communicate it. Like, shut it off. I mean, that's how I would see it. I mean, I think it's the easiest way to just say, like, shut it off. But anyways, okay. So, yeah, I think episode 9 is also really cool.
Yes. It felt like a Teen Titans episode. Like,
what happens in episode 10?
I feel like there was a Teen Titans episode that... where like the tower is trying to kill them, but
there's one where like Raven starts acting up and then no, she doesn't start acting up, like she's like doesn't admit that she's afraid of something and then her fears start to like project outwards.
It was like that one.
Like
that episode was so good. I was reminded of that with this one. So yes, I liked this episode.
I also like episode 9 also ends with Alora's line of "He lives on through all of us and his legacy is Voltron," and I've heard some comments made that like this episode is like a throwback to like the 80s.
I believe
like Voltron specifically, and also my uncle saw a little bit of this and like he said that it really reminded him of the 80s Voltron because my uncle is like a big fan of the 80s Voltron. And like so I thought that line was like good because I don't know, it had the idea of like throwback and energy, and also I just thought it was a good line. Like it was a good conclusion to the episode. Anyways, episode 10.
I asked my dad if he had seen the original 80s Voltron and he said he hadn't. Sad. So I don't really know anymore. Because like
maybe my dad has, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I reached a point, I think it was like episode 8 or 9, where I felt like I had to ask someone who was a fan of the original series, like, why? What did that have that maybe this one doesn't have, or it does have?
Seen some of the original.
Yeah, maybe it was just.
I have a friend you could ask.
Yeah, I theorized that it was like, since it was the 80s, it was like the mere spectacle of it that made it compelling. But now that we're kind of jaded about like what effects can do and what animation can do because we've seen so many cool things already, then they had to really focus on the characters and the story and the writing, which I took many issues with. So, but again, that's just like a theory, but I don't know exactly since I haven't seen the original Voltron. Anyways, episode 10.
Yes, episode 10. Thoughts quickly, perhaps.
Okay, jog my memory a little bit. Remind me what they were trying to do. What was their objective?
They were trying to infiltrate the Galra station so that they could like what's the word? Take something from the their like database, basically.
Okay, cool. Gotcha. Crap, I'm trying to remember anything specific. I don't think anything really stuck out.
Kids needed to hack.
Yeah, I remember that. And then was this? Yeah, this was the episode where like freaking, crap, what's his name? Dad character.
Shiro.
Okay,
Shiro.
He gives me like dad vibes.
Wait, Josh Keaton, who voices Shiro, he has like so much merch that he like made of like himself that just says Space Dad everywhere. Like his Instagram, you'll just see Space Dad because yes. Anyways.
Yeah, he definitely has dad vibes. But not like goofy dad vibes like.
Oh, he was
just
young
like
Hercules.
Father.
Really?
Today I learned. Anyways, go on.
But yeah, so what they go off, and then I thought this was where the series was gonna end, right? Like at the end when freaking Allura gets like kidnapped. I thought that was gonna be the cliffhanger. Honestly, I think that would have been a better cliffhanger than the cliffhanger that they ended up with. Just because it's like, oh no, we're in a wormhole, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. But like if they had ended the season with like Allura being kidnapped, like I would have been way more invested. That's my thoughts on that.
Cool.
And then I think there were some fun bits that I liked but I can't remember what they were specifically.
I have two whole notes on this episode. The first one, I'll just give you the good one. I liked it. The plot and execution were okay, champ. Thank you. Second thing, though. Okay. This is like another world-building issue I had a problem with. Okay, so they tell me all the way in episode 10, the Alteans are chameleon-like, and they say that it has made them great diplomats. Is it that the morphing into said foreign entities or foreign entities species allows for familiarity due to exposure and thus fostering cooperative behavior? Or is it the use of the camouflage? Is it that the camouflage allowed for covert operations to push for coercion rather than cooperation?
I understood it to be the first one, but
Yeah?
like I guess I could see it being the second one.
Right. Because what my thing was, it's like, okay, so you tell me something cool that this species has, like Gish's stretchy powers. Find out later when we release Space Pirate Zero.
Coming this December.
Coming December. So approved on Comixology. So they tell me that this cool thing that their species does has made them great diplomats. The fact that they said diplomats confused me for a second. Like, plus, like, say you're doing diplomacy with a species that's completely not like you, looks completely not like you, does not sound like you, does not speak your language, and you have completely different goals. And then I imagine, when you tell me that it made them great diplomats, I imagine that they made peace with those kinds of species. So, was it that the chameleon powers, did it suddenly give them, like, the ability to speak their language, understand their culture? What is it? Like, these are the things I think. Star Wars has made me think so much about space politics than any other thing on the planet. And I hate it. I like it, but I hate it. I think so much about space politics. Anyways, go on.
I mean, I don't know. Once again, I do not have an answer to your question. Because I think that these are just things that you would have to, like, literally discuss with the writer to understand.
Right.
I understood it to be that, they probably would have like studied like their culture and their language at that point, so they could like acquire that information, and then simply like making themselves look more like the other like alien species or whatever just like allows that familiarity, and then that would make it easier to like, you know, be diplomatic about things.
Humor me with the idea that what if the foreign entity forgets completely that they're negotiating with Alteans, and then they say, okay, space politics.
Situation that I feel like once again we should discuss later, because I feel like
we are a little short on time.
Space politics.
Do you like my pun? I said it's a whole wormhole because I was gonna say rabbit hole, but then I was like wormhole.
Space.
Because speaking of wormholes, we should get to the last episode.
Okay. Episode 11.
Jordan's having
The
a
Black
straight up
Paladin.
mental breakdown right now.
Are you good, Jordan? This is what Star Wars does to people.
This is what Star Wars
So
does
glad
to
I
me.
hadn't seen it.
No, you're killing yourself by not watching Star Wars.
I mean, all right. Jordan, are you good?
I'm actually crying because space
And now
politics.
Joseph's dying too.
I like inhaled like with my saliva, and my body was like not cool with it.
Is everybody
good.
okay? Are we okay?
I'm alive,
we,
I
like-
think.
Are we sure about that?
My heart's beating.
For the audio listeners, I am legitimately crying. I took off my glasses and now I'm wiping my tears. I legitimately had a mental breakdown live on camera. Episode 11.
That's pretty epic.
Last episode. Let's just give our basic thoughts on the last episode.
I like-
And let's not ask questions.
But I have more questions.
Ah,
Listen,
crap.
you can type them to me and I will try and respond, but my answers will be, and I can predict I don't know.
That's why I don't like being the host of episodes, because there's like questions, and I'm like, I'm never good at answering these questions.
When I'm thinking, when I think about this podcast, I feel like the host kind of has to be prepared for questions, and yes,
I'm
you're allowed.
prepared for questions.
Yeah, you're allowed to concede that you don't know, but at the same time, if we get into a situation where the person really doesn't like the other thing that you showed them, then you're gonna have to be prepared to explain why you like that thing, and explain to them and talk to that person why they didn't like that thing, which will probably entail those kinds of questions. But anyways, that's why I helped in the creation of this podcast, because I like discussions about that kind of shit. Anyways, episode 11. Good. I like that they
discussions.
I like that they explained more mystical stuff. They explored more mystical stuff. I don't remember exactly why I wrote this down, but I felt like they since it's the show takes a mixture of sci-fi and mysticism, then I didn't really feel like they didn't talk about mysticism much. So I liked that they did it a bit more in this episode. Questions, which I won't mention, and
Thank you.
Oh, but this question, I'll talk about it after. Okay, I found it important to note that they established that the strength of the connection between Lion and Paladin is what makes them stronger. So I wondered what that entails. Basically forcing me to be like, maybe I should actually continue this show. There you go, episode 11.
Like, maybe you should watch the whole show, because I feel like, I don't know if that would be a good move or a really bad move, but I think it would be a move. And I think it would I think it would affect your perception of some aspects. And it would be interesting to hear what you think. But yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say to Jordan, if you're really maybe give season 2 a shot, and if you're not into it by that point, then drop it.
Literally me with My Hero. My Hero Academy, dude. I watched
hot takes.
I watched season 1, bored as fuck. I watched season 2, I liked it a lot. I watched season 3, stopped in the middle. So
Joseph, thoughts?
I kind of gave my I wish I took notes so I could remember it better, but I was like, okay, the cliffhanger is it's all right, I guess. I remember Aydin said that he had thoughts about this. I think he said he had thoughts about this episode. So maybe we could do a bit where he gives some of his hot takes.
That would be
I don't know
fun.
how we would do that.
I mean, he did have his takes. He told us his takes before
he messaged me his ratings, which I think we should talk a little bit
about.
Yes. One thing I just want to say really quick is that I really like in the last 2 episodes, I don't know which one it happens in. It's the last one, I think, where there's the fight scene, and Keith is being a butt face, and there's everything that's happening.
He's trying to go after the big guy.
He's going after Zarkon, and then there's the whole thing where he's with also the lightning dude, the woo, and then there's the part where he backs up into the thing of quintessence and gets it on his hand, and then it heals. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about that, mention that. Appreciate that. Anyways,
exploring more mystical stuff. Okay, champ, that's what I wrote. Yes, go on.
Anyways, so let's rate this show.
I'm
last. Really scared for everybody's rating because I feel like I'm gonna be sad, but it's okay. Let me tell you what. Wait, I have to pick it based off of a thing that we spoke about.
Yeah.
But the only particularly significant bit that I can remember has nothing to do with Voltron. It's the insignificant creek thing.
No, an object in the show.
But it has to be an object in the show, and I can't think of one. What's an object in the show? Lions? Blue lions. There's lions. There's
how about
rock people?
No, not people. People are not countable objects. How about telepathic mice?
telepathic mice.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so what are your ratings? 1 to 10 telepathic
Do we want to
mice?
do Aiden's first, or
Yeah,
how do we
Yeah,
want
let
to
go
me
ahead
this?
and do
just
Aiden's.
find his
I'll-
message. Okay,
I
he
will
said
do-
6 out of 10. He said anytime his favorite moment was anytime Alora was in the battle suit with a hot mama. What a hot mama.
True, and yeah, that's pretty
His
true.
fave was 60% of the dialogue and the very lacking action sequences.
Woo!
Also, one thing I just really wanted to mention that I completely forgot to mention, but I feel is very essential to mention before this podcast is over. Alora, when she's in the Galra fit and like she's being all Galra-esque, yo, she's kind of attractive, and
She's
I
kind
was
of bad
like,
though.
kind of appreciate.
I've been saying this, so
Anyways, but like the Galra fit, like with the when she's like in that
Yeah.
episode where she, all right, okay, sis, I see you. Anyways, I guess Joseph, what are your thoughts?
yes, I will go
Okay.
last in ratings. Thank
I
you.
give this show a cool 7 out of 10 telepathic mice. I vibed with it. I just vibed with the characters a lot, and that's usually like the most
Good enough for
important
you,
thing
yeah.
for me.
Hence,
yeah,
My Hero Academy. Go on.
Yeah. Crap. Okay, I guess favorite episode might have been episode 4, just because was it 4? No, 5. Whichever one was like Hunk, and like he was doing his own thing. Because I feel like that out of all these episodes have like the most like focus on like a single character, which I like. I also just like the bits where like Lance was being like kind of dumb and like flirty. I just liked his lines a lot. I don't have any specific one off the top of my head. I like the mullet line, but that was episode 1. Least favorite? Crap, I'm trying to remember one of the complaints because I know I did have complaints.
It could be an episode or a moment.
Pause. Pause. Drum
Least
roll.
favorite,
He's
probably.
thinking.
Oh wait, no, my favorite episode might have been episode 9 actually.
Yeah, I think that episode is
between
very
9
hard to
and-
beat.
Yeah, between 9 and then like the hunk stuff that I was into. Least
you're into
favorite, I
Hunk.
don't know the.
Sorry.
Well,
You like bears, Joseph? You like bears? You strike me as a twink. Go on.
Shut up.
Go on.
Least favorite. Crap. I don't know. I guess the Deus Ex Machina thing. I feel like there was like a thing that I had like more issues with than that.
I think my lion is telling me what to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that kind of stuff. When like the writing was just like, oh, here's the solution, because that did happen a few times. And should I continue to watch it, I would hope that that happens a little less.
True, and yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
true.
Cool. Oh, that was. I guess I also wanted to ask, like, if you had plans to continue watching it.
I think I would.
Cool. Jordan, or unless I go last. Wait.
Yeah,
the
go
host
last.
goes
The
last.
host.
Yeah, I was gonna go last of the people who hadn't.
Got you.
So if Aiden's is a 6, then I think I'm gonna have to. Voltron Legendary Defender, as of season 1, is a cool 4.8 out of 10. I think
Dang.
it's.
Than I expected, to be honest.
It's just below average. Episode 9 proved to me, episode 9 and onwards, I was proven that the writing team can do this. They can do something. They can get me invested in these moments, in the characters, and feel the tension that's going on. But I just didn't feel that for every past episode until then. So like, just putting those two things together, it's like, since it's just season 1 and I don't know anything about the future seasons except some spoilers that I can kind of extrapolate from what you're saying and what my sister's saying, and that it's just below average for me, because what's keeping it from being like a 2 or a 3? It's, other than the CG, it's decently animated, it's nice and colorful. it has its funny moments, and Allura's hot, so if you give me a waifu, then it's pretty easy to like at least.
I just want to say the way that I drew like Kaisha, the D&D character, my D&D character, and right when we were watching Avatar, and Aydin was like, "She looks just like Katara,"
Yeah.
and then like he was watching this, and he was like, "She looks just like Allura," and then I was like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah.
I guess it's a good thing.
Right. Okay. Favorite episode? 9. I think among all the episodes in this season, it is very hard to beat what I felt and how they did it. Least favorite? Episode 7 at the 19-minute mark for the next 6 seconds. 5 to 7 seconds.
All right, fair.
Nice. Okay, so for me, I also don't love season 1. Like, I love Voltron.
Yes, exactly.
I don't necessarily love season 1. But because I love Voltron so much, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10 because I love the characters. I really like rewatching certain episodes, even from this season. And like I said, I've seen the first episode like literally like 9 or 10 times. My favorite episode, I also really like 9, but I also really like 6. I like Rolo a lot. Like I think he's a really interesting dude. So
within this episode,
and I love the bit. What?
Within this episode.
No. Wait, what? I said
I'm trying to bait you into telling me if he's a returning character or not. So rewind. Within this episode?
I don't know. So I really like him. I think he's pretty chill. So I like that
our main
episode.
Cast. Go on.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I like that episode. I also like in that episode the whole bit with Lance and
Simping.
the chick, and especially the little kinky bit where he like starts blushing because she handcuffs him to a tree, because that's just like really funny. And then my least favorite episode, probably 7, just because it's really like action packed, and I honestly watched it twice for this specific podcast because I knew that Jordan said that he had thoughts on it, and I didn't pay attention to it pretty much at all the first time I watched it because it's just like action stuff. But yeah, so that's Voltron. I would gladly rewatch it again because it's like one of my favorite shows ever. Oh yeah, Jordan, would you rewatch it?
Or you mean continue? Okay, so I'm debating. Let's not do. In my opinion, we don't do podcasts and we just talk.
Oh
about
no,
it.
I didn't want to do podcasts on it.
In my opinion, if I'm debating that I do it off podcast and then just like basically like catch up like every single time we film a podcast. All right, watch season 2. It's okay. Or episode season 3. All right, okay, cool. You know, I'm debating that we do that, and then by the time we get to the last season, maybe we can talk. We can do an episode. But that's
like a retrospective.
Yeah, like a retrospective. And dude, you finally watched. Anyways, like, but that's what's going through my head right now. It's like maybe I think it's like 30. It's like 30, 70 being not gonna watch it. But I feel like I'm gonna talk more with my sister about this. Maybe she'll convince me. Maybe you'll convince me eventually, Lizzy.
Cool.
Yeah, there.
Enjoy if you do. And to everybody listening to this episode, I love Voltron. So even though some people don't, I do. And
I thought it was pretty neat. I enjoyed it.
Nino Burrito, would you say?
It's
Yes,
a pretty
very
cool
Nino
show.
Burrito.
The characters are lovable. A lot happens. It gets so much better from the first season, and even it keeps getting better. And you have Lotor to look forward to if you keep watching it, and that's just its own thing. Just in itself. So yeah. Anyways, I don't know how to end this because
wait, no, I got it. Can I do it? Can I do it?
Okay,
Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? So Craig, what are your thoughts?
Oh, are we not gonna say what happens next episode?
Oh, Aydin, please edit this out. I am so sorry to make you like. Let's pretend. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh, yes. So next week, I did not. Okay. So I expected we were on a streak. We were all on a streak of just like recommending things that we love and we wanted to share with the other people. But this week, I wanted to recommend, since it's my week, something terrible that we can all enjoy together because it's so bad. It's so horrendously bad. I feel like we all need to level out our 8s, 9s, 10s that we've given for the previous stuff. So, I mean, like, I've already evened it out with this one. But at the same time, hey! Are you making fun of me? Anyways.
No.
Anyways, so next week, for our younger audience, you don't have to join us for this one. We're gonna watch Jennifer's Body, that movie no one saw, starring Amanda Seyfried, Megan Fox, and featuring an OST song by Panic at the Disco.
Song's pretty good.
The song is amazing compared to the rest of the movie. I swear to God, I watched this most of it when I was younger, just for the fact that Panic had a song in it, and I regretted it completely. So I am so ready to talk about everything that's so bad about this movie. Anyways, so since I messed it up the first time, Joseph, you want to do it?
Okay. Craig, what are your thoughts?
Now recording.